May 24th, 2002 is the day that changed my life. At the time, I was a football coach at Manatee High School, and it was a Friday afternoon. Practice had just ended. I hopped on my motorcycle and was just heading home. I made it about a mile down the street before the truck in front of me was turning off of the street, and there was another truck that was right by the gas station who went to pull out and cross over Manatee Avenue, and he didn't see me. I had no time really to stop, and I ended up hitting the front side of the truck, flew over the hood, and then landed on my shoulder. I knew something was wrong with my shoulder because I could feel it, but I also had a lot of road rash just because I just left practice and I was in practice coaching clothes. So off to the hospital I went, and when you have that type of an accident, they have to clean all the wounds. And so I remember the nurse had put on some numbing cream, which, by the way, didn't numb anything, it just burned. But afterwards, it felt like she just had one of those old steel SOS pads and just sat there scraping away at my skin. It was the most excruciating thing I'd been through. After I got out of the hospital and recovered a little bit, that's when I went to get an attorney about my accident, and they sent me off to an accident clinic. The accident clinic, that's where I was getting physical therapy, I was getting chiropractic, electric stem, ultrasound, decompression, traction, you name it, whatever they had there, I was getting. The problem is that I was going 2 to 3 times a week, and after 3 months, I was still just in so much pain. I was broken. And I remember telling the doctor, I just said, hey, listen, I'm not coming back anymore. I'm 20 years old, I hurt, I'm broken, I'm done. That's when the doctor said, he says, well, wait, let's try some massage work. And I remember I rolled my eyes so hard. And I said, so I'm going to get a white robe. What about the cucumbers for my eyes? Because for me, that was my perception of massage therapy. So at my first session, the massage therapist that I was seeing, I made a smart comment about, don't hurt yourself. And she made sure to let me know how much pain she could inflict, because I remember having to tap out a couple times because of how painful it was, but I didn't realize how bad my muscles were. And as bad as that was, it only took me 4 sessions, and I was probably 75 to 80% better. And I couldn't understand why. Why did that work when the rest of the time that I was getting adjusted and doing exercises and getting all of the rest of the bells and whistles in their office, none of that stuff worked for 3 months. But all of a sudden the massage work did. So that really stuck with me. And just a few years after that, I ended up going to massage school because my whole thought process was, I want to help people just like somebody helped me. Somebody put me back together. I want to be that person for someone else. So after going through and finishing massage school, I started working for a chiropractor. And in the chiropractor's office, it was great because there were endless bodies of people who either had car accidents or who were just using their regular insurance. And so I was seeing the same people over and over and over. That's really when I discovered that where you feel pain and where it hurts are 2 different places, because I would work on these patients over and over and over. And as I would go working through areas where they said it hurt, when I saw them the next time, it didn't make any difference. There was no changes at all. And so since I had endless people to just trial and error and test things, this is where I really discovered how to reverse engineer these pain patterns, because I was able to try, okay, this person came in with back pain, let me work here. Did that work? It didn't work, so let me go try a different area. And then when that would work with one person, I would try that on the next person, and slowly I started to discover really how these pain patterns were working. I was there for a couple of years, and then I branched out onto my own, where I thought for sure, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be able to help everyone, because what started off as normal massage then turned into understanding how these different pain patterns worked and where they started. And so when I branched out onto my own, I'm like, oh, I've got this figured out. In reality, I didn't, because what worked for 1 or 2 people wouldn't work for the next one. It was constant trial and error, trying to figure out, where else could things be starting, what other muscle groups are involved. And so it really was a struggle at the beginning because there was no differentiating myself from the other massage clinics down the road that did great relaxation and spa work. It's not until I kept learning and understanding and figuring out that different muscle groups cause pain elsewhere. It's just which muscle groups are those and how do I work on them? So as time has gone on, I know that I really have niched down into understanding that there's a sequence in how to work muscles, because you can still work the same set of muscle groups, but if you do them in the wrong sequence, then you don't get the same exact outcome that you're looking for. So that accident really was the course change in my life, where now all I think about and all I do and all I research is pain patterns and how to eliminate them. And so I've been extremely grateful for that accident, because it really has put me on this path to where I've been doing this now for over 15 years, where I've really dialed in where pain patterns start and what muscle groups are involved, and then how to get people back to being pain-free.